People. Hi everyone. I am super duper excited to be here again with you today. My name is Mahima, the founder of the Mahima Mindset. For those of you that might not yet know me, I'm a self mastery mentor. I'm actually Europe's #1 self mastery mentor. And I'm an international best-selling author. I've created a training called the Own Your Superstar Training, which is award-winning training. And I get the privilege to support people to change their mindset so they can create different results in the world. There was a time in my life where it wasn't that easy for me to be in inner peace, to feel joy, to feel centered and grounded in myself. So I've done a lot of work on myself. I actually spent when I first discovered this philosophy, this way of thinking, this way of living, I actually spent a lot of time, 5 years to be exact, living with a teacher and learning from him. So I'm super passionate about this topic, and I'm here to just give hopefully some insights that can give you some shifts in your perspective and in the way you see the world so that you can feel more empowered in a time that one could potentially go into feeling disempowered. I've chosen this topic today because I think that what makes my life extraordinary are the relationships that I build. What makes me to be able to cope with all of the ups and downs of life, with all of the amazing and cool things that I do, are the people in my life, the friendships that I've created, the time I've taken to build those relationships. So I just want to share with you some secrets to powerful relationships. And again, a lot of us think in a certain way about the world, about life, about relationships. And by changing, nice to see you there, Christina. Nice to see you, Caroline. Thank you for joining me. I am on a platform where if I don't call out your name, sorry, I can't see the names here. It just shows me that you are online. So thank you for being here and being a part of this conversation of how can we own our genius, our shine, our inner light so that we can start being the solution that the world needs, right? It takes one person who has the courage to speak up and do something differently to create a movement, right? So we live in fear often that doesn't allow us to speak up and speak, first of all, speak to the right people, right? In order to be able to get that confidence in your voice, you want to be building powerful relationships. That's what gives me the confidence that I have. I've had my friends support me to be myself. They support me to do what I'm good at. They support me in what I do in the world. And even when I have moments where I may doubt myself or feel like, am I really good enough or whatever it is, my friends are right there just like boosting me on and giving me the courage to keep on going and keep reaching the next levels. So friends are super duper 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 important, and yet we still don't really know how to foster really good relationships, right? One thing that can happen is you can get stuck in old relationships, okay? If you're evolving and growing and becoming a different version of yourself, then you might find that some of the relationships you're in also need to up level, right? So in case you see me looking down at the screen here, it's because I'm live streaming on Instagram as well. So I'm going to be talking to the beautiful people here and talking to you at the same time. So I just want you guys to think about that. If you're growing, if you're evolving your thinking, your belief systems, then you're going to need to have people that are also in that same process as you. So that's my first point around this. I'm going to share 3 points on how to make two friends. So the first one is that, right? You want to, and you should be able to see that up on the screen right now, seek people that are on the same frequency as you. Okay, so what does that actually mean? Look, I'm having a wardrobe malfunction. Let's see if I can put this back on and see if it continues to stay there or what's going to happen. Okay, so seek people that are on the same frequency as you. That means you want to be looking for the vibrational frequency, also with people that you currently know. Often we don't think about this. We don't think about the frequency of our relationships, right? We think of the history, we think of the different aspects, but vibrational frequency is super duper important. And you know this, when you meet people, there's a frequency that elevates you and there's a frequency that depletes you, right? And for me, when you have a true friend and you want to make those relationships rock, there needs to be a frequency that elevates you. So that's about finding people that are on the same frequency as you or higher, right? People that are working on themselves, working on their mindset, working on becoming the better versions of themselves. And let me tell you something, even if you are running a business, if you're a business owner, you need to be working as much on yourself and your frequency than on your business. And especially at a time when everything is like going in the world in a kind of very challenging way, it's very easy. It's very easy to think that the reason you're not getting the results is because of something out there, rather than think it's got something to do with what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and my vibrational frequency, and how I'm showing up in my relationships, right? So this is a super duper simple thing to do, is just notice when you're with people, notice first of all your frequency, right? Are you going into the relationship, even if you're not feeling well, even if I'm feeling sad, even if I'm feeling really down? When I speak to my friends, my close friends, I'm so grateful to be having that conversation. I'm so grateful that they're taking the time to speak with me, to help me, to support me, that I go into that with a frequency of gratitude, a frequency of appreciation. And that is what you want to make sure, even if you're not feeling well. Now, we have the tendency when we're not feeling well and our friends call us, we start projecting that feeling of not being so well potentially onto them. Like, oh, please just leave me alone. Oh, I'm not feeling so. Yeah. So that doesn't build and foster good relationships, right? Your friends don't want to just have a good time with you. They also want to know that they have your back and can support you when things are not so great. And that is what actually creates the depth in the relationship, is when things are not so great, can you still take the support and create that frequency of uplifting in that friendship, right? So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing you want to do when you are trying to create more empowered relationships and friendships, the second thing you want to do, and this sounds easy. I mean, it sounds easy, right? Like, be absolutely authentic. Sounds like, yeah, I can do that. But trust me when I tell you, and from my personal experience, this is actually one of the most difficult things in a relationship, because often we're actually taught to try to think what would make people like us and love us more, right? So we are taught to behave in a way that we think is going to give us the love and the confirmation and everything that we're looking for. So what we do is we actually stop being authentic. We actually lose ourselves in the mask. And that is when you'll find yourself having feelings that you're not expressing, right? Having thoughts that you're not expressing. So kind of being a bit in your head and a bit disconnected from the person that you are relating to, because you're busy trying to think what they could need or want from you to love you or appreciate you or whatever it is, right? Now, to be absolutely authentic means you're vulnerable, and it means that you'll be sharing with those friends some not so cool things. First of all, about yourself, like really being real and authentic, like being able to open up and share some of the more challenging thoughts and feelings that you have, also about your relationship with those people, right? So this is where it can get very sticky, because in most of the friendships, how we are taught to show up in friendships, if something has happened, if your friend said something you didn't like or did something you didn't like, usually you just go away and withdraw. But the problem with that is it causes you the next time you interact with that friend, you're kind of still carrying that story somewhere, right? And then, you can forgive and everything's fine, but then something else happens, and then you do the same thing. You just lock that into some drawer somewhere, and it again pushes you away, and then maybe something else happens, and then boom, 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 that's enough, and now suddenly you're not friends anymore. You can't, things have turned horribly sour and so forth. Now you guys know what I'm talking about, because I'm pretty sure if you've been putting yourself out, you've had these type of experiences, right? So to be absolutely authentic means you deal with the issues that come up in your friendship as they're coming up. I personally think that for me, friendships are very intimate. They are as intimate as, let's say, the relationship you might share with your family or with your husband, with your kids, because you want to let people in. You want people to really see who you are and really deeply get to know you. So yes, of course, the relationship with your kids and your husband is going to be stronger, but friendship is a very close place for me in the way that I describe that, right? So it is about knowing that you're supported in the world and that there are other people outside of your family who have your back, who could really show up for you when things don't go as well as you plan them to go. And I remember there was a time in my life where I was going through a very big challenge with my husband, Kai, who some of you may know. And that was when I realized I needed to up level my friendship game, because when I was thinking about, at that time, we were going through such a challenging time, I was thinking like, okay, if we would separate, where would I go? Where would I stay? What would, I looked around, and I felt like I wasn't close enough, except of my sister, who would have my back. Who else would support me? And that was when I realized I need a different friendship game. I need to find a different way of showing up in my friendships, because I want to have that feeling of, and I want to give my friends that feeling as well, that outside of our family and outside of our husbands, we have each other, and we will be there for each other in a deep, real deep way. Like, that these people have your back. But to have that kind of friendship, you need to be absolutely authentic and to keep the relationship clean of negativity. So that means as things arise, right? As things arise, you clear them out. And that's not easy, because that makes you vulnerable. And so that's something I want you guys to think about and work on. So I want to go to see if you guys are posting any questions for me here in the chat. It would be lovely. Catherine is saying she does most of the questions, but not always answering. Maybe post the ones that you would really love answered on the Supernatural Forum. Okay, so yes, it is very difficult for me to answer on these Facebook Lives all your questions, because actually I sometimes don't see them until afterwards, right? So if I'm not answering your question, it's just because I simply do not see it. And also because we only have 20 minutes here, so I wouldn't be able to get all the questions anyway. But I love your comments, so please make those comments, and I'll make sure to check in after I've done these Facebook Lives and see if I can get to your to answer your questions anyway. For those of you who are excited about some of this stuff that I'm talking about on these Facebook Lives, I want to invite you to join me this upcoming weekend for a 3-day summit, right? A 3-day journey of hacking your negative belief systems to empower yourself. I want to talk about very relevant things that are happening in the world today and how you can go through all of this in a way that's going to blow your own mind and have people asking you, like, how come you're so positive? How come you're so strong? How come you're so centered? What are you doing to be feeling like this, right? Because I think that it's easy to be happy when life is perfect and everything's going well. But when things when the shit hits the fan, let's put it into simple language, okay, and you can still show up being strong, being confident, being loving, being present with yourself and the world around you, that makes you a leader. that makes you a person of inspiration. And we all want to be a person of inspiration, whether it's to our children and also for yourself. You want to be a person of inspiration to yourself because you want to be comfortable in your own skin. So when you do these type of trainings, like the Own Your Superstar 3-day summit, you really this is the best way you could spend your time at a time like this, right? With like-minded people that are saying, how can we be the solution instead of part of the problem, right? So I just want to invite you to take action. You can see the link. We've posted a link here. Just click on the link and secure a spot if that's something that you think is going to be interesting for you. We're going to cover my Own Your Superstar 7-step formula, which talks about self-love, your genius, what's your talent, what's your mission in the world, your mission, what you want to do to leave a legacy in the world, how to reduce fear, how to upgrade your relationships, this topic that we have today, but we're going to have like a whole section on hacking relationships, right? Creating a bigger vision in the world, and also how to have more abundance, right? My students right now, some of them have had the most successful months that they've ever had during this time, right? Because most of us don't understand our mindset is creating our reality, so that if things start crashing down, like you say, okay, but Mahima, I've lost my job, all of these things have happened to me. I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm just saying that you can also go faster through this process of up-leveling your game, seeing this as an opportunity, as a growth moment to really go to the next level. Or you can be crushed by this experience, right? So whatever your situation is, you've got the choice of how you're going to react to it and what you're going to do to up-level your game. So if if something dramatic has been happening to you right now, and you feel like you need emotional, mental, and spiritual support to come back to a more empowered place, this workshop is perfect for you to just spend 3 days being inside in an internal process that's going to leave you feeling refreshed and empowered. So let me share my last nugget with you from the session, and let's see here so far. Okay, hold on, I want to look. Will there be an online event this weekend? Yes, there will be an online event. I just answered that question. Click the link. We still have some tickets left, but you do need to secure your spot. And it's on the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this upcoming weekend. We are going to be rocking it. Paviliana, I would love to see you there. Okay, awesome. So let me see here if I can get to the last point I wanted to make on the topic of relationships. So the last point is show up to the relationship. Now, I know that this sounds like super duper simple, but let me tell you, when I moved here to Switzerland, so often I met people and we had a great connection. I would email them or call them and they wouldn't email me back. They wouldn't call me back. I would SMS them and I wouldn't hear back from them either. After spending an amazing time talking and connecting and feeling like, wow, we're really bonding, right? So you know this, you've had that experience. So you know what I'm talking about, okay? When I say that showing up in a relationship, and maybe you have that now with some of your friends that have just disappeared, right? You're asking them, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? And nothing's coming back. Right? And what we do when these things, sort of things happen, people just disappear out of our lives. We feel hurt and disappointed. Maybe they show back up again and again because of our lack of authenticity and realness. We might just be like, hi, yes, I'm so glad to hear from you again, and wouldn't express, look, I emailed you, I SMSed you, and you just disappeared on me. So one of the things that make relationships powerful is people knowing that they can count on you. That when I send you a message, I'm going to get a message back because I matter. I matter to you and you matter to me. So so for me, when I have close friends, there is no such thing as I'm sending you a message and I'm getting no reply. That is, we know that's disrespectful. We know that isn't right. And yet we allow this in our relationships. We allow people to treat us this way, right? So I want you, if you want to be a good friend, to show up to your friendships. That means you have certain basic integrity lines. Yeah. And one of those is, I call you, even if you're busy, you can send me a message. Hey, I saw that you called me. I've been a bit busy, but I'll get back to you in the next day or two or whatever. Show up to the relationship. Also making time for those relationships, saying, okay, I'm busy. Like last year, I was traveling all over the world. I was super duper busy, but I made sure that my friends knew that they mattered to me. And that is just by showing up, sending a message saying, hey, there's lots going on, but I'm thinking about you. And also, I want to know what's happening to you. Let me know, update me, right? So by showing up, it means that no matter whatever is going on with you, you can be having a crisis, you show up to your friends. You can be going through the most amazing, you show up. So that's my secret for you. If you want to have better friendships, then these are the 3 things you want to do. You want to seek people that are on the same frequency as you or higher. You want to make sure that you are absolutely authentic and real, which is a practice. It is a daily practice to not just put on a mask and pretend that you enjoy everything, to have deep conversations that really talk about, the different shadow aspects of our personalities, and just really be available for the uncomfortable conversations with your friends. And then last of all is to show up in the relationship by making sure that there's a certain line of integrity, which is a basic human respect that you give, which is just not disappearing and being there, being in the close connection that your friends feel your vibrational frequency and energy. Even if they don't see you or speak to you, they feel that you are present with them, and therefore as well, every time they reach out to you, you're right there available. So that's basically it, beautiful people. Thank you so much for allowing me to support you on this journey of hacking the friendship. And please, again, think about this. We have, today is, I believe, Monday. So we have Tuesday and Wednesday. So we have 2 more of these sessions. Let me tell you what the topics are going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about how to love your man like he's never been loved before. Now, if you do not have a man, then you want to come here anyway to get this info, because if in case something happens and tomorrow you meet the guy, this information is going to help you to move forward in a very beautiful way, right? So this is not only for people that have relationships. I want you to come and the men, if you're a man on this conversation, you want to come and hear this, because I think it's going to allow you to understand if you're getting the love that you deserve to have, okay, from your woman. So that's the topic. It's a little bit saucy, and I'm going to look forward to hacking that with you tomorrow here at 6 o'clock. How to love your man like he's never been loved before. Keep spreading this to the world, guys. Share this Facebook Lives with people that you know need the support. And I am excited to be with you on this journey of personal transformation and growth. I encourage you to keep on enjoying, to discover more about the what's really inside of you, and what really is the key to your next level of success, whether it's be in relationships, in your job, or in anything you're trying to accomplish in your life right now. In this moment, you're planting the seeds for your tomorrows. And if you plant seeds of peace, if you plant seeds of light and joy, if you plant seeds of connection and intimacy, then your future's set. You don't even need to worry about it. So thanks for joining me. Love you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.